But you know what? They say all good things come to those who wait. And so we are happy to be back with you all here on a Tuesday evening. Kia McLean here.
Yay! Shamika
And
Arnold here.
what's up, y'all? What's up? So, if you all are familiar with our platform, or if you're new to the platform, we just want to remind you because we've missed a couple of Tuesdays with you all. And so we want to make tonight a dynamic evening for you all. And so what we do is we come on and we talk about relationship dynamics. I am Kia McLean, the poet, and Shamika Arnold is a licensed therapist. And so we just come and we kind of have dialogue and share back and forth. And so, hey, Dave. And so we really want to have a good conversation tonight. Tonight's topic is insecurities and low self-esteem. Hoo-hoo. Shamika.
Yes.
Insecurities and low self-esteem. Hey,
Yes.
Cassandra. I see you in the room. What's up, y'all? Good evening
Hi
and welcome.
guys.
Welcome to Data from the Real. And thanks for joining us. It's been a minute. And so we're so glad to be back.
God.
We just had some scheduling things going on. Life be lifing, y'all.
Yes.
But we're happy to be here this evening. And so we're going to get into this conversation. But I was asking Shamika a question about her thoughts about this topic, insecurities and low self-esteem. What you think
And
about that topic?
it's always interesting whenever we have a topic like that's what's been discussed for the week. Like with clients I have, or but I feel like low self esteem and insecurities is this um is always a topic of conversation. But I felt like this week it was a lot more. So it's always funny whenever we have topics, they're always like congruent with what my week has been going with my
That's
clients.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
interesting. Hey, Keldrick. Hey, Ebony. Hey, y'all. Hey. Thanks for
Party. Y'all,
joining.
it's a party. Y'all like,
Right. It's a
hey,
party. It's a party. Thanks for joining. We missed y'all.
woo.
We hope y'all missed our faces too. And more importantly, the dialogue that's about to take place. And so Marcus always does this
She
thing.
said she can't hear good.
You can't hear us good?
Me? Can't hear me? She
Who
said her.
can't you hear, Ebony?
She said her, but it'll be both hers.
Who can't you hear?
Hi, Keldrick.
While we wait for Ebony's comment there, I want to take a page from Marcus's book and something that he does when he and I sometimes collaborate and do lives, or when he just does the live solo, and that's he gives the definition of something. And so I wanted to start the conversation by giving the definition of insecurities. And so insecurities is an uncertainty or anxiety about oneself and lack of confidence. So, as you can see, our topic, the definition is comprised in that definition. So, insecurities is an uncertainty or anxiety about oneself and lack of confidence. And so, if you have, okay, she says, I'm perfect and you sound distant.
Hold on, man. Let me go hold on.
And so while we wait for her to return, I want to um, really kind of delve into that a little bit. Most people deal with some level of insecurities and low self esteem. Whether we admit to that, whether we honor that emotion and feeling or not, but many of us either feel that now or have felt it or will feel it at some point. It's just one of those natural things that kind of happen, especially in this day and age with social media. People tend to look at social media and start to compare themselves, and that really can cause some insecurities and low self esteem. So, the question about how do you know if you even lack confidence or have anxiety about low self-esteem. Um, Say something, cousin.
Hello, hello, hello.
Can y'all hear her okay now? Say something.
Can y'all hear me? Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. It's not loud.
Oh, you talking low too. You gonna have to
Okay. Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Is it? Is it? Are we
yeah,
playing?
yeah.
No. Do I look like I'm like
You look like a DJ.
I
You're looking like a DJ. Hey Andre. She said you sound distant.
still sound distant? I don't know. Hello. Oh, is it? But she said she. Anybody else hear that too? I can hear myself. I feel loud. I feel real loud. I feel like I'm talking loud already. Is that good?
Okay, now that's louder.
Okay, I'll just talk loud. Microphone.
Yeah. But I heard you better. I heard you better. Hey
Oh,
Missy.
okay. Is my volume is like on high. Like I hear myself so loud. I feel like I'm doing.
Okay. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Sounds better.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. So I was talking about, how to identify if whether or not you even lack confidence or have some level of anxiety. Well, anything that I think interferes with you completing your goals, stepping into your purpose, having healthy relationships and friendships, when you can kind of see a pattern sometimes, it's telling you a story. And you can kind of talk more about that, Shamika, in terms of like the um, from the analytical side of things. But even I know for me, when I had some confidence issues that carried over to my relationships with people. And it carried over to even my personality, positivity versus negativity. Because when you lack confidence, sometimes you end up taking on certain emotions like anger or being distant from people or um, there's that thing
I
again.
love that. It's so amazing.
And so you start taking on some of those negative emotions because your emotions are low, because your self-esteem is low. And so, what are your thoughts about that?
um, what are my thoughts about the side effects of low self esteem?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree on it affecting your, again, like you said, your personality, on you accomplishing things, on you feeling like you, even if you can. And so I know you had said earlier also that analytically, my analytical side as well. Like what's your we and I feel like again we this is something we've talked about. What is your self talk? Like what do you tell yourself? Like, what do you tell yourself that I'm not going to be able to do this? I can't make it. I'm not going to be able to. I'm not good enough. What conversations do you have inside your head that continue to reinforce that?
Yeah. I think that when you have a lot of insecurities and you deal with low self-esteem, then you end up with a mind full of self-doubt. And, of course, that leads you to a ton of negative thinking, which then leads to a negative outlook just on life, about people. And so, as it pertains to relationships, which is what we talk about with Date Affirm the Real, and how this manifests is if you have a negative outlook on life, if
Mm-hmm.
you doubt everything about life, then you're going to doubt a potential partner coming into your life. You're going to doubt good people that may come into your life. If you're a person that I don't trust nobody, I don't believe nobody. Everybody fake. Everybody phony. Like if you are one of those people that say that, I really need you to sit with this for a minute and just kind of maybe even consider that, because it may be something else going on. It may not be that everybody fake, everybody bad, everybody's out to get you. It could be your outlook on life. And Shamika and I talk about this in probably every session since we've started this. What are you telling yourself? How are you talking to yourself? How do you see yourself? All of those things are going to go outward, and other people will see that. Sometimes you don't think people see that, but
Mm-hmm.
people see it. It's an energy, right? It's an energy that you're putting out there, and you think, oh, it's just me. I'm the only person that can see it. But no, that is something that you're projecting out into the world. And so if you're projecting that and you're a single person, for instance, that might be saying, ain't no good men out there, I can't find nobody. It is because, and we don't connect those things, right? We don't think that having insecurities and having low self-esteem can connect those emotions, which then lead to a negative outlook on life, to
Right.
negative emotions, to negative talk,
Right.
self-talk, and talk about other people. So all of those things can, you can start to project all of those things.
Right.
And so insecurities and low self-esteem can affect every aspect of your relationship building with people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's
Right.
like, it's all connected. It's all interconnected. And so it all goes back to a lot of the things that we talk about often.
Right. Even do you remember like we had this conversation about even like how uh we was having a conversation about how somebody picked out they who they chose to be with, and they was able to see their insecurities, and they was like, yep, that one's gonna take care of me,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So you project. So how much of what you feel inside about you, you're projecting, so everybody else can see too. You
Yeah.
know, and so because of that, you're going to, um, that's what you go get. You go get exactly what you project about yourself. So here's the thing: when you're saying there's not good men out there, if you looking at yourself like you're not good enough, well, what you think? What men gonna come to you? What
Yeah.
men are gonna come to you? If you don't think you're good enough, then what type of men will come to you? Right? Because you
Or
are you
women.
are
Or women.
or women, whoever you choose,
Yeah.
even friendships,
For men.
relationships,
Exactly.
right? All of that, right? And so what you're doing is, if you don't think you good enough, then what makes you think that somebody else go want you if you don't even think you good enough, or you go get something better than, like, it's like we rely on somebody else to uh it's like, I don't think I'm good enough, right? But I want somebody that's going to see me as good enough. But that's not real. It's not reality.
Oh, rewind that.
If
Rewind that. Say that
if
again.
if you don't think you're good enough, but you want somebody to come in that thinks you're good enough, it's not reality. That's not reality. That's not what's
It's
gonna
not
happen.
reality.
That's
It's
not
not
reality.
reality.
And
And
it's
go ahead. Go ahead.
delusional. No, it's
But it
borderline.
is.
It's like, if you're like, I want somebody to come in, they not good enough, right? But you don't even think you good enough. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a contradiction. It doesn't match. It doesn't fit. The puzzle don't fit. That piece don't fit. Like,
Yeah.
so and I was just sharing with this one of my client, because she was like, people tell her she's beautiful, but um but she doesn't see it. But I was like, okay, aside from seeing beautiful, right? Aside from all of that, because it initially starts with valuing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even like, so you're not even gonna forget the beauty. You're not even gonna see that yet, because you don't even think you even worthy for anything good to show up in your life. You don't even see the value in you of what you've accomplished thus far.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my clients go back and look at their life. Like, are you at the same place you was in? The ones that have, like, that's like, I don't see the positive in me. I don't see I'm still don't feel like I'm good enough, or I haven't done enough. And I'm like, well, let's look at your past. Let's look at where you've come from. Where have you come from? Are you in the same place that you've come from? Well, no, because I used to write. So how about let's start there? Let's see your progress there. Let's see who you are now. Let's see your progress. Let's see your growth. Let's point out that, because we can point out what's wrong about us in a minute.
Yeah. But this is why I talk about journaling all the time, guys, because if you journal, that is a place to be able to look and whatever insecurities you are dealing with, whatever low self-esteem issues you're dealing with, I'm telling you, if you journal and you're able to look back and say, because it's one thing to tell a person, think about where you came from and where you are now. That's different. That takes a little bit of effort, time, energy. Okay, now I got to remember, what was I in 2000? What was I doing? But if you journal, you
And
got
you
a
look back.
record. You got a record that's
Yes.
right there at your fingertips that's telling you, this is where I started. Now
Yes.
look at where I am. Look at the advancement, the improvement, the growth, the positivity. Look at all the things I've overcome. You can readily have that at your fingertips. But when you keep everything in your head, it's so easy to not value yourself. It's
Yes.
so easy to not value your growth. It's so easy to miss all of those things because you're so busy
Yes.
focused on, well, this is where I want to be. When we stay in the future constantly, when we
Mm-hmm.
stay in the, this is how I want to be, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to have, versus staying in the now,
And what am I?
understanding, being aware that, yes, I came from this, but look at where I've come from. Look at what I've accomplished. And so that's kind of going just a little bit off of, where my notes were. But I mean, it really is all in alignment together.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of those things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's in, look, thank you, Missy. Hashtag journal. That's what I'm talking about. Get your journal on. Get your journal on. I'm telling you,
Yes.
it's a game
Yes.
changer.
Yes.
Okay, so we mentioned this a little bit already, but I said many of us believe our insecurities are isolated just to us, and no one else experiences it even. Like, well, I don't even want to tell people I have insecurities. I don't even want people to know that I have insecurities. Meanwhile, people can see it.
Right. All.
Meanwhile, it's not hidden. Meanwhile, it's not a thing that you're like, I'm walking around and nobody even knows. I'm in a costume. No, it's
Maybe I'm walking
visible.
around and nobody. And we like,
It's
look at all the insecurities she got
visible.
all on.
It's visible. And I'm going to give you an example. Years ago, a friend of mine had a friend. And when I saw her, I was like, that girl is drop dead gorgeous. I mean, she is model gorgeous. But when she opened her mouth and when she dropped her head,
Oh.
I was like, I went from like, she's drop dead gorgeous to feeling sad
Mm.
that she didn't see that.
Right.
She had no, like, there was nothing about her visual beauty that
Mm.
she felt good about. And
Wow.
as she started to speak, and her posture was, and
Oh.
her head was low, and she was talking, and somebody had said to her how beautiful she was. And so after hanging out around her several times, I noticed this was a constant theme. She
Mm.
would really denounce anything that people said positive about her looks. She
Mm.
would just cringe at the thought of people saying that she was a beautiful person. So later, years later, after getting to know her and all of this, she shared a transparent moment and vulnerable moment with me, and she said, Kia, I was in an abusive relationship for 20 years. And that man beat me down so much that I really started to believe what he said to me.
Isn't
The
that
point
crazy?
the point is sometimes the insecurities are not even yours.
Right.
You having low self-esteem is not even yours. That's the point of me sharing that brief story.
Yes.
Sometimes you are carrying insecurities and low self-esteem that doesn't even belong to you.
Yes.
Someone else says something to you and
Yes.
planted a seed, and the only person that can water the seed and allow it to grow is us.
Mm-hmm.
And so when someone plants that seed and we nurture it and we start telling ourselves these things, yeah, I'm not attractive. Yeah, I'm not smart enough. Yeah, I can't do that. I'm not as good. And so you ultimately diminish yourself, which is the thing that they were trying to do to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you begin to diminish yourself. And now here you are, this insecure person that has no self-esteem whatsoever, and it starts to show up in every way, in every way. Friendships, relationships, working relationships, all of that insecurity and low self-esteem shows up. And so even if you do get in a relationship, is it going to work?
Hmm.
Because your insecurities are showing up. Your
Right.
low self-esteem is there. And so your insecurities are saying, who are they over there talking to? What are they doing? I need to call them all the time. I need to watch them. I need to, because I don't feel good about myself and I'm insecure and I don't trust them because they don't see me as beautiful and they don't see me as worthy because you don't see yourself as beautiful
Yes.
and you don't see yourself as worthy and you don't see yourself deserving of that.
Right. You see Dave Butler's comment?
Yeah, he says, I also believe that everything going on in the world today and around you can also affect your mood, outlook on life, and how you view yourself and others. Which is, yeah, that's what I said at first. Social media is one of those
Oh,
things that I truly, I was going to save that for last. But because there's so much content surrounding social media, we're definitely going to hit on social media last because it's just an abundance of information. But I wanted you to respond to that, um in terms of, like, when you see a person and then you kind of like
I'm so ADHD. The bubble is so exciting for me. What's a bubble?
so
And I'm such a kid. Like, what's a
right, such a kid.
bubble?
And it's hard for you to stay focused as it is, so I'm gonna have to get that bubble removed.
No, I like a bubble.
I gotta get it removed
Can we get
because
ready
you
to move
already
to the
ADHD and
like
you be like,
a clap?
it's just something else.
I need a
No,
clap button, like when that bubble
no,
pops.
babe, we getting that bubble removed, okay? Because no, you and her with y'all ADHD together, no, because he do the same thing. What is that? Ooh, no, the people don't care. The people don't want to hear us talking about the bubbles. They don't.
There you go. There's Shanika again.
But I wanted to get your response to what I said about the young lady who I was talking to that
With
didn't see herself as beautiful, and
the guy who
the
was dating.
yeah.
Yeah. How, like, and then how often is that, you know? And what I find to really, what's really interesting is most of the time the guy feels insecure because the woman is so beautiful, so they have to break them down so that
Hmm.
they feel like, so then that the person doesn't leave them because they know they not worth nothing, right? That person, whoever tearing you down, knows that they're not worth anything, and so they want to tear you down so that way you won't leave them because they know they ain't nothing. I was gonna cuss. It's okay. They ain't
Yeah,
shit. They know
yeah.
they ain't.
This our podcast.
They ain't never gonna be shit. And they get some quality.
Everything you did to me, I already did to you. I had to. I had to. I had to.
That was good.
You was going there. I had to.
Exactly. So when you're tearing somebody else down, or when somebody, let's say both ends, okay? When you're tearing somebody else down, that's not them, that's you. That's you. You need to work on something. And
Hmm.
when somebody is tearing you down, that might not necessarily be you. That might be them. That they feeling insecure. And so they want to
Yep.
make you not feel good about yourself. So that way you don't, so you, um, what is it, can hold on to them or keep them around because they know they're not worth nothing. But if
Yep.
they bring you down, then it makes them feel bad.
Like Dave just said, misery loves company.
Man,
You wanna have a party together in misery.
right.
And how can you be a part of the party if you don't attend? If I don't RSVP and show up, then I'm not part of that.
No.
And
Right.
so
And
I go ahead, go ahead.
even just even just holding on to a relationship that tears you down,
Hmm.
right? Holding on to a relationship or friendship that tears you down and does not make you feel good about you. And you always constantly walking away feeling bad about yourself, any type of relationship, friendship, or what have you. You have to look at, okay, what got me here? Because it goes back to you're choosing this. I
Hmm.
chose to be in something like this that made me feel bad. So now the question is, what am I reinforcing about myself in me choosing them? So do I value me? Do I think I'm good enough?
Yeah.
You know? And so it goes back to, so even though it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? It's like, okay, I felt bad about myself. So because I was projecting that, then I brought somebody in to help reinforce what I felt about myself, right? Already. So I already felt bad about myself. That's why they came in to continue to reinforce me feeling bad. See, I told you wasn't the people out there because see, they right here. So you just reinforcing the false belief system that you continue to have about yourself and about, you know, and this really goes back to about yourself. Because once you see yourself as valued and valuable, then that's what's going to show up. And you
Yes.
don't get that from anybody.
Yes.
No, you're not going to take that from anybody. Once you value you, there's things you won't accept or take from anybody. You're going to be like,
Hmm.
I don't do
And
that.
the other part is you won't accept it, but people will see you don't accept it. People will feel you don't accept it.
You
The
walk into
certain
a room, they gonna know it.
they
They
gonna
gonna,
know
just
it.
like you said with the girl, with the lady. You like, soon as she opened her mouth, like her whole body language told you that she didn't feel valued, right?
Hmm.
So then that's where dude come in and be like, and he'll build you up, right? Because and once he builds you up, he'll go tear you down. So he'll build you up to and then tear you down, right? So
Yeah.
that when you don't leave him, you can't leave him, like, because that's the thing he will say. You so pretty, and they're like, oh, and they'll just take that minimal, right? The
Right.
minimum, and then he go tear you down because because he can't build you up too much because then you'll leave because he'll know that then you gonna know that he not worth nothing or they not worth nothing, you know.
Right. Because they're preying on people who are in that same energy as them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
even though it shows up different for them, so for them, they don't drop their head. Their posture doesn't change. It's internal for them. For you, it's external. But your
Mm-hmm.
energy is saying we the same.
Mm-hmm.
Your energy is saying I can get her or him. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what they're like, oh, okay. Well, let me go over there and get that person.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever watched when people will walk in a room and only certain people sometimes get hit on or approached sometimes? It's always them. Nobody else in the circle or the group ever gets hit on. You wonder why that happens sometimes? Because some of those things are visible to the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of those things are just an energetic thing that people can feel. They know who's the insecure person, who's the
Mm-hmm.
person that lacks the confidence, who's the person that doesn't feel so great about themselves because of this or that. And so that's the thing that they actually go and hone in on
Yeah.
and say, oh, you have beautiful eyes, or you have beautiful legs, or whatever it is that they know you may be struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they get you and pull you in. And
Mm-hmm.
so um, I wanted to highlight some of the things that I kind of wrote down in my notes about how being insecure can be a domino effect for a number of other issues. You can start to compare yourself, you can isolate, you can build resentment towards people, you can feel inadequate, you will complain a lot and or be negative. And those are just some things that I kind of jotted down that can come out of your insecurities and some of, and your low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So real quickly, I'm gonna kind of shoot through the first one. Is going to relate to what we're going to talk to at the end, which is social media.
Mm-hmm.
In this day and age, a lot of it is everybody's comparing themselves to who is posting what.
Mm-hmm.
Who's posting what? And this is what I had to do years ago when I started to feel that. When I first started my business, there was a young lady, one young lady in particular that I was watching. And another quick story, I was watching her, you guys. And now this is interesting because I know that somebody else has probably experienced this before, or maybe you may experience it. Okay, so I was like, this lady is dynamic. She's doing a lot of the things I want to do. I'm inspired by her. This is great. And then I felt jealousy. And I'm going to tell you how I knew I felt jealousy because I was saying this internally to myself. Like, I mean, but I feel like I'm just as smart as her. And I feel like I have just as much energy. And I have, not like in a hating type of way, but I was just like, why come my business isn't jumping and isn't doing this and it's not picking up. And I was doing all of these things, right? And so a friend of mine reached out and was like, hey, I want you to link up with somebody, connect with this person. They're dope. They're doing this, they're doing that. They were talking about her, right? So I was like, oh, yeah, I already know her. And so they were like, oh, okay, that's cool. So why a month later, he calls me. He goes, man, I might have sent you in the wrong direction. I said, what do you mean? He goes, because sometimes people are all talk and nothing else. And he goes, there was nothing there.
Mm.
He says, I'm privy to some information that is going to be released soon, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it was just all smoke, right? And so sometimes you're comparing yourself to people that don't even have it all together,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I shared that only to say, be careful about comparing yourself to people. I haven't done that shit ever again in life because I was like,
You
this
don't never.
person wasn't even that. This person didn't even have that. So be very careful about, even who you're inspired by, because sometimes it's not all that what you see is not what's there.
What's my motto? Everybody crazy as hell. It's just the level of crazy you're willing to deal with.
You
Kids
say it
don't
all the time.
level of the socioeconomic status they own.
Yeah.
They got something that they dealing with. And so it's always something somebody's working through, working on. You might not see it. You might not ever see it. But know in the back of your head, that's what helps me. Because I know in the back of my head, everybody got something they working on.
Yep.
Everybody. Everybody. So even when I'm looking at bosses and whatever, it don't matter. They all got something they working on, And it's
Mm-hmm.
funny too, and it's always funny too, is that the same money issues too that you have that you're dealing with where I don't have enough, they think the same thing. I don't have enough, right?
Yeah.
Even if they got all they want. So that's why I don't ever, especially on social media, ever look at somebody and be like, they must have a happy life. No, because remember that guy that was on he was the DJ for Ellen DeGeneres,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he killed him, and we all saw him happy, laughing, joyful, and everything, dancing with his
Yeah.
family. And you never. That's why you never know. That's why I don't put nothing past anybody.
Yep.
I'm putting past nobody. Everybody got their stuff they dealing with.
But you know what? I shared that to be honest and be vulnerable to say, like, that was a true emotion
Or
that I
yes,
had and that I dealt with. And the lesson from that, right? The lesson was valuable to me to be like, so here you were, like comparing yourself and feeling inadequate, like you're not doing enough, you're not moving fast enough with your business, you're not investing like she's investing in her business. And you have all of those things. And what ultimately came out, I was just like, wow, like, wow, wow. But the
but
point
again,
is,
but then even too looking at somebody again, you said the comparing yourself to somebody else and not
mhm,
looking at what you've accomplished. If you're
exactly.
looking at them and you don't know them.
And that is the point, is if you paying attention and you focus on yourself, and I talk about this a lot now, you don't have time to look to your left. You don't have time to look to your right. You don't have time to look at all the people around you and what they're doing. because you're busy focused on you and the work that you're doing.
Dave said, well, um, first of all, Marcus said very few people can tell and take full advantage of those insecurities. And then
Mm-hmm.
Dave Butler said, I always say, I wish I had your energy. I get tired just watching you. Right. Don't you be like moving here. She's like, I'm over here. I'm over here. And I'm like, "Ooh, I'm tired from the last thing. Like, I know you tired. And then
BC
BC
said,
said,
careful what or who you're inspired by. Everything isn't what it seems to be. Absolutely.
hmm,
That was a valuable lesson for me. That was a very valuable lesson for me. That was probably about 8 years ago when I first
hmm,
started my business. Like, I was just like, yeah, Kia, that was a lesson. No, that was 2014. Yeah, so about 9 years ago, that was a very valuable lesson for me. I was like, don't you ever do that again to yourself.
man, right. I'm
Don't
glad
you
you told yourself
ever,
that.
ever
You look in the mirror. Don't you do that again.
do that to yourself again. Much as self talk I do to myself now, you ain't got to worry about it.
Man, I know, and it's so weird because now that, like, I remember the negative stuff I used to say to myself. I remember the stuff I like, you so stupid. You're not gonna ever be no good. You know, good. This is why they treat you like this. Or this is why. And now, like, I think about it now, I'm like, now if I say, girl, you stupid, I'm like, who was I talking to? Wait, hold on. I gotta, like, I can't even say it no more. It's like,
Yeah,
it's no longer like it took a while, right? And I didn't realize it's like when you look up, you be like, wow, I don't say those negative things to myself. I don't know when it stopped. I don't know when, when now it's just second nature, when the other stuff is second nature at first,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I don't know how it switched, when it switched, I don't remember, but it did. And I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful.
yeah.
Hmm.
Because it does you're just in a different energy when you're not complaining and talking negative about yourself to yourself. That was the next thing I wanted to hit on, is about how you can sometimes complain about certain things about yourself. That
Mm.
is reinforcing the negative thinking about yourself, which
Yep.
is going to play into the low self esteem and the insecurities. So if you're saying, like you just said, oh, I'm dumb, or I'm not that good, I can't do that, or they're better than me. When you start saying those types of things, and even when you're saying things and you say you're joking, one thing I used to say all the time is I used to be like, yeah, my fat ass, my fat. I would say that and I would be joking, right? And no lie, I got the heaviest I've ever been in my life.
Hmm.
I got the heaviest I had ever been in my life. And I was like, wow, like
Right.
words are that
Yes.
powerful. Do not play with words over your life.
Right.
This is not a taboo thing. This is real
Right.
life. Don't play with words over your life. I was close to 250 pounds.
Wow. Really?
Yes, the biggest I had. This was back in early 2000s. I had got huge, but I was
Wow.
constantly saying that. Oh,
Yeah.
my fat ass! I gained a little weight. Oh, my fat! I kept gaining. I kept gaining. I kept gaining, and before you knew it, I was the big fat one.
Right.
Right? So I
And
got the words that I spoke.
right. Yes. And so okay, two things. So one is yes. So even now, when I catch myself, I have to catch, like, it's interesting. I watched, okay, it might sound weird, but I notice, like, when I think something is big on me, right? My arms or my stomach, I noticed, like, it looked bigger, right? Like, once I was like, "Ooh, oh gosh," I felt, when I started saying that, I felt it get bigger. So then when I was like, "Stop doing that! Like, stop doing that. Let's be grateful,
Hmm.
or let's look at, like, let's identify." I forgot how I did it, but I was like, "I'm gonna stop doing that though." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Why my arms look smaller? Why they look smaller?" And they might not have got smaller, but I started seeing them as smaller.
Yes.
I
Yes.
So I was like, I just was like, well, we're gonna keep on doing that. Okay, two, there was this study done, and it was on plants. Did I tell you about this study?
Uh-uh.
two separate studies, right? So the first study, the the plants were grown in same light, same water. They got everything equal, but the only difference was they put words on the containers, right? So this group got like words that was like ugly, sad, like all these heavy words, right? All these stupid, all those words. This one
Uh-huh.
got love, light, peace, joy, right? They
Mm-hmm.
got all the same light, all the same water. Everything was equal. The only thing was the words just written on the plant, just written. And the ones that thrived were the ones with this, with the words that was love, joy, light, right? All of them thrived. That was one study. Then it was a second study, and the people, what it was, same thing with plants, but they had people speak to them. So it's like only say, so like the song was like only say negative things to this plant, right? These plants right over here. Then this one, same thing, positive, love, light, right? And the ones that thrived was the ones that were spoken that to in their organisms. But our bodies are
Yep.
organisms, right?
Energy.
How much do we break down our own immune system?
Yep. Yep.
How more sick do we get when we down ourselves or talk bad about ourselves? How much more do we get ailments and illnesses and pains and stuff when we talk negative about ourselves? Our bodies are still living organisms, right? So if we're telling it it's not good enough and we're not good enough, then it's gonna be like I'm not, and we're not gonna thrive.
You know what? We're going deep. We're going deep because since you mentioned that, I want you all to follow someone called Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza talks about this very thing.
Hmm.
He talks about how people who got some type of illness because of their positive outlook and their thoughts about whatever diagnosis they received, by having a totally different mindset and thought process and how they were speaking to themselves about that illness and what they believed would happen as a result of that diagnosis. There were people who went back and got tested and didn't have it,
That's good.
completely
So
didn't
how
have
much
it.
of what you're speaking you create?
So, this is the importance of insecurities and low self esteem. Y'all didn't know we was going there. The importance is you are creating something in your body.
I only wanted to do like I wanted to give
You
all
are
this like a
creating
girl.
it. You
Man,
creating something in your
yes,
body.
yes,
We ain't even talking about the relationships. We can take the relationships completely out if you want to. But think about what's happening to your body. And I'm
yes.
going to tell y'all something. As a person that used to hold a lot of anger, as a
Mm.
person that used to hold a lot of animosity, as a person, that's all, Lord. She didn't need that. Thanks for the balloons. But as a person that held so much negative emotions, I'm telling you, I used to have bad migraines to the point where I went to the
Mm.
doctor and I used to get injections for my headaches. I used to have horrible migraines where I couldn't get out the bed.
Wow.
The moment that I started to meditate, the moment that I started breath work, I used to do yoga back then. I'm telling you, it changed my life. This is, look, I'm definitely not trying to convert anybody to take better care of their bodies and all of that. But I'm here to tell you it's a thing. It really is a thing. And just insecurities and low self esteem can create illness, sickness in your body. It can cause you not to have great relationships with people, which then reinforces you being angry because then you continue to think negatively. All of your interactions are going to be negative
Mm-hmm.
because that's what you created.
Yes,
And if you continue to create negativity over and over and over and over, this will be your life. This
yes.
is what you will deal with for the rest of your life.
And
I'm not saying this to say like my life is perfect and my life is better than anybody. What I will tell you,
with what I like, I'm not who I used to be.
Exactly.
I'm not who I used to be. So what if we started there? What if we started there? I'm not where I was.
Yep.
I'm not. I'm.
I
What
don't get injections for migraines anymore.
Right.
I don't even get migraines anymore.
Right. Right.
When I
So.
had when I had stomach issues this past summer, my stomach issues were tied to some childhood stuff. And I
Mm,
know that.
mm,
So, what I'm telling you all is if you don't pay attention to your body, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't change your mindset,
yes.
you are going to be in a
A
hamster
cycle
wheel.
of forcing and being getting it. Yes. Unhealth and poor relationships and your life, and you will look at your life like, what the heck? Well, how did I get here? And it all starts with thinking. It
Yeah,
all starts with that. You don't. And I tell my, you don't even have to believe it right now. I
sure
don't.
don't.
You don't even have to believe it. But let's look at facts. Let's look at where you came from. Let's look at what you've accomplished thus far. Look at the facts. Look at who you are now. Look what you did. Look what you look. You know. Let's look at what's going on right now. What? Let's look at the. Let's focus on the positive. Let's focus
Mm-hmm.
on what we did to. It's like you don't have to believe it right now, but let's just see what's occurred thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I often say, eat the fish and throw the bones away. Because this may not be applicable to you today, but 2 years later, you may recall sitting in, listening to this, and it may change the trajectory of your life because it changed mine.
Mm,
I went down a different path, which led me to a different space in my life. So I don't want to labor there because we still got to talk about social media. And I want to go on to the next thing, which is low self esteem is shrinking yourself,
mm,
saying negative things about yourself,
mm,
feeling hopeless, denying, listen to that word, denying happiness for yourself, fading to the back, trying not to be seen, highlighting others over yourself,
mm,
missing out on your purpose and
mm.
your purpose partner. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and for those that want to be a victim, this is not for you. Because, see, you might want to stay a victim. That might be your goal in life is to be a victim. And it is okay. And we allow you to be in an allowance. We are an allowance of you being whatever you choose to be. This is for the ones that want to step out and do something different. So that's all I want to
Mom,
share.
where the balloons at for that one?
Balloons, balloons, balloons. I want to pop them.
Because that deserve all the hearts, all the balloons. We're not here to choose for you. We're here to provide information, and you do with it what you will. I've lived this, and so I love to share my journey because a lot of people say, "How did you get here?
Hmm.
What happened? What changed?" Especially people who knew me from years ago. And so you can make whatever decision you want to make. As Shamika just said so eloquently, and
That's
we ain't
all.
getting no balloons.
And we allow you to do that. You know, I want some balloons. Oh, look at Marcus sent me some
Thank you,
balloons.
baby. You gave us some balloons. But so one of the other things that you just hit on was about the stress, which causes the body things, right? So I got stress in my notes and I got the definition: a natural human response that prompts us to address challenges and threats in our lives. And when you keep doing that, you are now
Mm,
in a fight or flight mode. And that creates the illnesses, the sicknesses, the tension, the pain. All of those things are
mm,
happening in your body because of stress,
mm,
and you're not paying attention. You
mm,
just keep waking up every day saying, I'm in pain. I don't feel right. This ain't good. That ain't good. So I'm not going to just tell you about stress. I'm going to tell you about what you can do to now overcome that. It's one of the things I did. It's one of the things Joe Dispenza talks about all the time. I hope y'all wrote his name down so you can go look at some of his YouTube videos and I ain't even getting paid. Practicing gratitude daily, no matter what is happening in life, is something that can be done to generate new energy, thoughts, and outcome. So I want you to think about it like this. If you are spending your days focused on what you're not, what you lack, who's better, comparing yourself to this person, comparing yourself to that person, if you took the time that you're spending doing that on practicing gratitude, saying affirmations, positive affirmations about yourself, changing even the circle of people that you're spending your time
Yes.
with, just those things. Joe Dispenza says 10 minutes of gratitude a day changes whatever's happening in your body.
Yes. And I like how we can journal that. And that could be something you write in the journal
Exactly.
every day. Like 3 things you're grateful for. 3 things you are
Gratefulness. That's something simple and quick that you can do, and you should be doing anyway every day. You
anyway.
should
Right.
be
When you wake
practicing
up,
gratefulness.
I am so grateful. Yes.
You don't have to have everything you want, but you should be practicing some level of gratefulness every
Man,
day. You woke up. That's
man,
one. Let's start there. I woke up. I might not have all the things I need, but
man.
start with gratefulness, because little by little, what's going to happen is you're going to, all of those insecurities and anything that you lack
They won't even
confidence in, it won't even be at the forefront of
it
your
won't even you
thoughts.
won't even be thinking about that anymore.
It's gone. It's gone. Voila.
It's so weird. And it's the weirdest thing because like I said, I don't remember when it changed, but I knew it changed. Every time I pay rent, I'll be like, oh, I got a place to stay in a whole nother month.
Huh.
I'll
Okay.
be so happy. I'll be like, oh, I get to keep you for a whole nother month.
And so the last thing I want to say, and then we're going to talk about social media, is if you feel like you're in a low or negative space, it will generate that type of energy. If you infuse yourself with positivity, meditation, visualization, spiritual or religious connection, and positive people, you will generate more of that energy. It raises your awareness and your vibration.
Yes.
Being self aware is the dopest thing in the whole wide world that you can do for yourself. Be self aware. That way you can call yourself out before anybody else says, you know what? Okay. And when you call yourself out, what are we going to partner with that, Shamika? Grace,
Peace.
forgiveness.
Give yourself peace. Like it's okay,
Yes.
right? It's okay.
Yes.
Okay, we fell short on that, but it's all right. We're gonna try something different in the next 5 minutes.
Yep.
That'd be the next day. It could be the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna do something different. But we
So,
all, but yeah, but it's not about because it's not about. Wait, I want to. So they said every day above ground, right? I'm grateful because I woke up and hashtag positive affirmations from Nisi.
whoop, whoop. Positive
Um,
affirmations. And you're
yes.
right. Every day above ground is, that's a day to celebrate. That's a day
Yeah.
to celebrate.
Oh, yay. Like we even live in a even though like everything's not perfect, even in this country, we get to wake up. Don't have to hear bombs dropping right now. Like we live. We're like I don't think we realize until like you have to go to. I don't. You don't have to go to another third world country, but you can see like kids wake up and they lose their parents. Because they parents because there's a war going on. Like we
Mm-hmm.
don't even have that. I get to sit in the bathtub. I get to sit in a bathtub. Like even just that little bit, I get to soak in a bathtub and put some Epsom salt in the bathtub and soak in a tub.
Yeah.
Like even those little things. Like I got a closet with shoes in it. Like I got like I get to call my family. I get to call my family. I get to see my like even those little things. Just to I don't know. I don't think we don't realize some people don't have water. Some people
Yeah.
can't like they don't even have water or good water to drink. You know? And it's like it's so much things to be grateful for. Yeah.
So much. So much. And hopefully you all are just taking a moment now to be grateful.
To
Just
look around.
sitting in this moment.
Yes. You got a
You get
car.
to you get to look on your phone or your iPad or your computer and engage in this conversation with
You have
us.
internet to even do this, to even reach out and be
So,
social with
right. So that means you can afford your internet bill.
me. Kia, when you do like this, it looked like you was really pointing to me. It looked like like Kia, what you thinking?
Yes. Hashtag gratefulness, Missy.
Yeah.
Yes. Gratefulness. And I hope people are taking just a moment, even as you sit here and watch us and listen, just to be grateful. Just to
Yes.
be grateful. To practice that every single day, because each day you want to chip away at those insecurities, you want to chip away at whatever
What's the
confidence that you're
benefit of
struggling
them?
with.
What's the
They're not.
benefit of the insecurities? If your health is damaged, if your relationships are damaged, if your own relationship with yourself is damaged, what benefit is keeping around the insecurities? What benefit is it to keep around the unhealthy thinking and talking bad about yourself? What benefit is that?
Mm-hmm.
What would be the
Yeah.
purpose of using that?
Yeah. So now all I got to say about social media is, if there is someone or something on social media that triggers you in any type of way, and you don't want to block them, you don't want to unfriend them, Facebook has an option where you can hide them. If it's Instagram, I don't know what you can do on Instagram, because if I don't want to see you, I just unfriend you. Like, I block you.
I'd be like,
I that's just how I move. But you may
right.
not want to move that way. I don't know what that feature looks like on Instagram, but you can hide people on Facebook. I've done it. Like, you know what? I don't even want to see their
I think
stuff.
on Instagram you can silence them.
Oh, okay. You can silence them on Instagram.
Silence them.
Yeah. So the point is, in my story that I shared earlier, as you can tell, looking at other people's lives, that it ain't always what it looked like anyway. So don't do it. But you might do it. You might, because we all in different spaces, right? And if you do, and if you feel triggered by that, first, it's telling you something about you and what's happening within you. And second, if you need to block them, if you need to delete them, if you need to unfriend them, if you need to hide their page, do what is going to be the healthiest for you. I'm grateful every day the shower comes on and I wake, I say a short thankful prayer. Yes, Tam. Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Look at that.
so, she's so crazy. So yeah, I think um we have to just be careful about that. We got to be careful. Don't put all your energy into watching other people and
Yes.
thinking they have it better than you, because that time, that energy, that effort is the energy, effort, and time that you deserve to put in yourself. You deserve that for you. Nobody on social media deserves that. Nobody on social media is paying you. Nobody on social media is giving anything to you that's worth you wasting your time and your energy worried about them. Okay?
Yes.
Now, do what you want to do, but
Right.
I'm
It's
just
up to
saying.
you. Right.
I'm
Right.
just saying.
You just give me a
It can be.
suggestion. You ain't got to do it.
You
Dave said
right,
it can be
Dave. It can
toxic
be
on social
toxic.
media.
It can be toxic.
I had to catch myself because I was watching it, and because they be popping up stuff that you be talking about. So if I'm talking about my stomach, and I be like, I want some of this, whatever, it be popping up all kinds of stuff with all the workout, exercise. And I'm like, I need to get my stuff, and I was like, okay, stop that. Like, because I was swiping up, and I caught myself. Like, when you're present with yourself, you can
Mm-hmm.
catch yourself doing that stuff. When you're present, when you're focused on, like, sometimes we get lost in that. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to do, oh, I need to. And I was like, you put that down.
Yeah.
Stop,
Yeah.
stop that. Mm-hmm.
In closing, we want to share something with you all. Any any and everybody is susceptible to insecurities and low self-esteem. Any and everybody is. There are people who are out here doing it big and they struggle with it. the whole point of the conversation is more so for you to be more gentle and
Yeah.
loving and caring and loving, like, so that you can heal, so that you can do what you need to do for yourself. You deserve that. You deserve that, because once you become that, you'll have the best relationship with yourself first, and other people will be energetically drawn to you, which will be the right people for you. And you won't have to speak negatively about people and say all people are mean, all people are ugly, and do nasty things to you. And I don't trust people. And see, it's going to completely change your vibration, because when you encounter people, you know that you're encountering a you.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I'm encountering another person like me.
Yes.
Peace,
My
love, healing, grace. And if
yes.
I'm dealing with some low self esteem, what can I do? Do what you need to do to raise your confidence.
Yes.
Don't sit in that. Don't sit in it and dwell in it.
I mean, but if
If
you want to. I mean, but if you want to.
if you want to,
If you
but
want to.
we don't want you to.
We don't
Oh,
want you to.
but I mean, you're
It's
gonna do
your
what you
life.
want to do. You're gonna do
It's
what
your
you want to do.
life. God choose for you. What if you can choose for you? What if like you can choose to be like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be always sick or down or heavy. Like what if you can say, I don't want to choose this. And you know what? I'm gonna
Mhm.
try the things that Kia and Mika said. I mean it's just a suggestion. It's a suggestion.
Just try it. See what happens.
So
Look
what?
different from what you've been doing.
Right, right.
Thanks, Dave, for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
So we didn't leave a lot of time for questions or comments, but we do want to allow people the opportunity to ask any questions that they have. We want to allow people to leave any comments that they might have for us. If this is something that you've dealt with, insecurities, low self-esteem, let's talk about it. We got a little bit more time to share with you all. So if you're willing to share with us, we're willing to be here. If you want to talk to us privately, offline, shoot an inbox to either of us, and we will be happy to have some dialogue with you. Because you know what? I mean, honestly, I do really want to see people have the best relationships that they can possibly, like, healthy relationships, positive relationships. Start with yourself. Um, but so many people are in a rut. When I talk to people a lot, yes, let's talk. Hashtag let's talk. When I talk to people so much now, they're like struggling. People are struggling. And because I've been there, I
Right,
get it. I get it. And there was somebody that along my journey, there was always somebody. It was different somebodies
right, yes.
that just kind of came in and
And
planted
planting
the
seeds.
right seed,
Mm-hmm.
right? They planted good
Some people
seeds.
watered.
Yeah,
Some people watered. Somebody
that's
was
it.
shine. Was the sunshine to help it grow? And the thing is that here's the thing. You know what? What's the point in living if you can't live a happy life? If
Mm-hmm.
you cannot live a joyful life? Things will happen. Things will happen. But for the most part, what if you can just choose happiness in your life? And what if it starts with just you being grateful for you, being happy for you? What if we could just start there? Oh, I was reading this.
Go ahead. I was waiting for you to read it.
Oh, I've had some insecurities early in life about my height until I got checked. I think we need people in our circle to speak into us with kindness about our BS.
Yes.
And some people, you know what? And here's the thing, too. Some people are not willing to receive it, and it is okay. Because sometimes I can share with somebody, and they're not ready to receive it, and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay, you know.
Yeah. It is okay. And I actually just dealt with this with somebody a few weeks ago. And when I say she kept saying negative things about herself and I kept combating it and that made her go heavier with the negative things, right? And then I had to like take a step back and be like, that's where she wants to be right now,
Mm-hmm.
Kia. That's where she wants to be. She wants to speak negatively about herself. She wants to be the victim. She wants to be in this energy. And you have to let her go and do what it is she needs to do because she's not in that place right now.
Right.
And that tends to bother me. I'm getting better at that because
Mm-hmm.
I oftentimes want to be like, no, they gonna they gonna take Shamika out. The fireworks. The fireworks. That's happening from YouTube. So we have people watching on YouTube as
I'm,
well.
I'm gonna get a separate. I'm gonna get a separate phone. Get on YouTube. And I'm gonna do it every.
See, I shouldn't have told you that because you can't stay focused. See, you ain't gonna stay focused doing that. Don't you get on YouTube.
I'll be like,
Okay, y'all. So I didn't see any comments on the Facebook side. I didn't see any comments. I didn't see any questions. And so I'm gonna have Shamika close us out as we do.
why it sound like why was I thinking back in church days? I'm gonna have something close us. Well, Lord, we just come to you with
We're
blessings.
not doing that.
Everybody bow your head.
That we're not doing that.
Okay. Okay. See, this is my this is my,
She can't stay
I've
focused,
learned to
y'all.
embrace I've learned to embrace my little crazy, right? And not everybody's okay with my crazy. I'm not for everybody, right? Some people be like, "You too goofy. I cannot be around you." I'm like, "Okay, okay." I used to feel bad, but I don't anymore. Like, how could you leave this amazing person? Like, how could you not be around me?
She crazy, y'all. She crazy.
Crazy as hell. That's
Marcus said, "Amen." We are
okay.
not ordained, and we ain't taking nobody to Jesus. Okay, we're not doing that.
Not today.
Close, close us out, Shy.
Again,
Close
close
us
it
out.
out. Everybody back. Ooh, I hope you guys have had as much laughter and joy as we've had this and I hope you purpose in your heart, to choose to live a life that you can smile at yourself and laugh at yourself. Listen, I'm a single woman. I be in the mirror talking to myself all the time. I'm like, I'll be like doing dances and stuff. I'll be like, you got it, Mika. You got it. Whoa. I do it all the time. One time, okay, and then I talk a lot, so I do this all the time. Anyway, one time I was at work in the bathroom. I forgot to lock the door, but I was in the mirror like, "You so cute, Shamika. You so cute." And they walked in, and I was like, "Now you can tell my clients I really be doing this. Like I really be doing this." And she opened the door and she was trying to back out like slowly.
You was having a moment. I'm gonna let you have your moment.
I always have these moments. You know what? It's better to laugh because I'm like, listen, I'd rather laugh at myself and enjoy myself. If I can't enjoy myself, like who else gonna want to enjoy me? If I can't laugh at myself and be joyful,
Now that's
if,
facts.
wait, I'm gonna do this. Watch, Kia, your earrings are so cute. They look so cute. Them little, does it look like I'm talking to you? Kia, them earrings are
You so
so
silly.
cute.
You so silly.
The trees on your earrings are so.
Silly.
Now what if I did like this and my finger was over there touching it?
Would you close us out, crazy?
Okay. Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. How does it get any better than this? What else is possible? And may you guys have an awesome and amazing rest of your week.
Breathe and be grateful. Release those insecurities
Yes.
and be confident. Be confident. Okay? Because
Because you
there's
are.
nobody else like you. There is nobody else in this whole world like you. They don't have your DNA makeup. They don't look like you. They don't walk like you. They don't talk like you. They
Yes.
weren't given the purpose that you were given.
Yes.
So walk in your purpose, in your
Yes.
greatness. Okay? We love y'all. Until next time. Peace.
Seeing eyes of mine, you see, there are no trees inside.